close the door, ask your wife or the grandkids for a moment of privacy, or simply turn off that television playing in the background. Sit down here with me, pull up a chair, and make yourself comfortable. I do not want you to feel like you are in some cold clinic, smelling of alcohol, with a doctor staring at his watch and waiting to rush you out. Let us talk today like two old friends, eye to eye. I am going to tell you the truth that most people lack the courage to say, either because it takes too much work to explain or because, frankly, it is easier to just give you a prescription and tell you to come back in 6 months. You are over 60, right? Maybe pushing 70. You have worked your entire life, built a family, paid the bills, and survived economic crises. Now, at the very moment you should be enjoying the fruits of your labor, it feels like your body has decided to play a trick on you. That trick goes by the name of the prostate. It is ironic, is it not? A secret nature kept from you for decades that now insists on showing up in the middle of the night, when you have to get out of bed for the 4th time, with that feeling that your bladder has become your own worst enemy. I see men every single day, strong men who ran companies or built walls with their own bare hands, and they come here with the same look of helplessness. They sit where you are sitting and ask me, almost in a whisper, if their life will now be reduced to scouting the nearest bathroom in every restaurant or shopping mall they enter. They think the problem is their birth certificate. They blame age as if time were a ruthless judge who decided that your prostate must grow, and that is that. But I am here to tell you that is only a half-truth. In fact, it is a dangerous lie. What is destroying your quality of life is not just the passing years, but a series of habits you treat as harmless, which are actually inflaming and swelling that gland every single day. Imagine your urinary health is like the engine of a classic car. If the car is old, it needs more love. But then you decide to use bad fuel, you never change the oil, and you leave it sitting under the hot sun for weeks. Later, you complain that it will not start or that it is smoking. Well, that is exactly what you are doing to your prostate. Today, we are going to go through each of these mistakes. I do not want to just list 10 items from some internet article. I want you to understand the mechanics of how this works. Let us start with a question Mr. John asked me yesterday. John is a dear patient, but he is as stubborn as they come. He sat here and said, "Doctor, I have made a radical decision. To stop waking up at night, I decided I will not drink a single drop of water after 6 in the evening." I looked at him and saw the fear in his eyes, the fear of losing sleep and not being able to rest. But what John, and perhaps you do not know, is that by doing this, you are creating a radiator filled with sludge inside your body. Think with me. When you stop drinking water, your kidneys keep filtering what is left. The urine sitting in your bladder becomes super concentrated. It stops being a fluid liquid and becomes a kind of acidic sludge loaded with urea, ammonia, and toxins. This sludge deeply irritates the walls of the bladder. The irritated bladder sends a signal to your brain saying, "I need to get rid of this right now." Do you see the irony? You drink less water so you can pee less, but the urine that remains is so toxic that your bladder panics and wakes you up just to get rid of that acid. Plus, that acidity inflames the prostate sitting right underneath. Clear urine is your friend. Dark urine is a sign that you are cooking your prostate in a broth of inflammation. So, my friend, the secret is not to stop drinking water. It is to hydrate your body all day long so that by nighttime your system is clean and calm. While we are on the subject of liquids, let us talk about coffee. I know, I love the aroma and the ritual too, but do you know what caffeine actually does when it enters your system? Imagine you have a garden hose and someone steps down hard on it while the water is running. Caffeine is like a panic button. It stimulates your nervous system to contract the muscles surrounding the exit of the bladder. At the exact moment you need to relax to let the urine flow, the coffee tells your body to tighten the channel. Many patients come here complaining that their stream is weak or thin, as if it takes a Herculean effort to get it out. Well, if you are drinking 6 or 7 cups of coffee a day, you are keeping your urinary canal in a state of constant spasm. You are trying to pour water through a strangled hose. Do you need to stop drinking coffee entirely? No, I am not a monster. But excess is a poison. Try to stick to your morning cup, and after that, give chamomile tea or plain water a chance. Your prostate will thank you for the muscle relaxation. Now tell me something. How much time did you spend sitting down today? Be honest. Between the television, the computer, the driver's seat, or that armchair that feels like a motherly hug. I know that after 60, the body asks for rest, but leaving your prostate under constant physical pressure is like having a flat spot on a tire. Imagine a luxury car sitting in a garage for a year with the same part of the tire touching the ground. The tire deforms. Your body weight is being dumped exactly on your pelvic region when you sit for hours. This crushes your blood vessels. The blood there sits still and becomes stagnant, and stagnant blood is the breeding ground for inflammation. The prostate heats up, oxygen cannot get in, and it starts to swell as a clumsy defense mechanism. I have retired patients who spend all afternoon reading. They feel a physical weight or pain when they stand up. If you want your prostate to breathe, you have to move. Stand up every 30 minutes, walk around the room, get a glass of water, or check the mail. Moving your legs acts like a pump that pulls blood out of that area and gets the system circulating again. A sedentary lifestyle is the favorite fertilizer for an enlarged prostate. Since we are talking about weight and pressure, let us touch on a sensitive subject, the belly. I know many call it a beer belly or a sign of prosperity, but to a doctor, that abdominal fat is a poison factory. That is not just sitting there doing nothing. No. Visceral fat produces inflammatory chemicals, and even worse, it converts your male testosterone into estrogen, a female hormone. Can you see the danger? The prostate is extremely sensitive to hormonal balance. When you have too much belly fat, your body becomes a hormonal mess that literally feeds the growth of prostate cells. It is like throwing wood on a fire every day. Many men think the problem is just how they look, but the truth is that belly is squeezing your internal organs and changing the chemistry that keeps your prostate the right size. Losing just 5 or 10 pounds already lightens the inflammatory load. It is not about having 6-pack abs for the beach. It is about stopping the production of the fuel that makes your prostate grow. Let us talk about food. We all love a good barbecue or bacon and sausage for breakfast. But let me give you an analogy. Putting processed meat and excess saturated fat into your body is like using tainted fuel. The engine might run for a while, but it will create black smoke inside your arteries and organs. These meats are full of nitrates and sodium, substances that your body takes much longer to filter at 60 than it did at 20. Have you ever noticed how the morning after a big barbecue or a very heavy meal, going to the bathroom feels harder? It is not a coincidence. Digestive inflammation spreads to the pelvic region. The body is overwhelmed trying to process those bad fats, and the prostate is the one that pays the bill. I do not want you to become a vegetarian overnight, but try replacing that fatty meat with grilled fish or chicken 3 times a week. Your digestion will feel lighter, and your bladder will not suffer from an inflamed gut sitting right on top of it. Speaking of the bladder, let us look at the crime almost every man commits out of embarrassment or stubbornness, holding it in. You know that long car ride or that family gathering where you feel the urge to go but think, I can hold it a bit longer? Well, when you do that, your bladder turns into an overfilled dam. The bladder is a muscle. When it stretches past its limit because you are holding it, it physically presses against the prostate. Imagine a swollen bladder like a heavy water balloon crushing a small gland. Over time, This habit makes the bladder lose its strength to contract, and the prostate inflames from that constant mechanical pressure. I had a patient, Mr. Ben, a very polite man who was too shy to ask a bus driver to stop. He held it for 4 hours. The result? He had acute retention. His bladder locked up and his prostate swelled so much he needed an emergency catheter at the hospital. Listen to your body. When you feel the urge, go. Do not wait for the dam to burst. Every time you force your system, you are fast-tracking the aging of your urinary function. Now, I want to go into territory that few men like to visit, our emotions. Did you know that stress can be just as damaging to your prostate as a bad diet? It sounds strange, but I call stress the knot in the rope. When you live in a state of anxiety, worrying about bills or the future, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones cause unconscious muscle tension in your pelvic floor. Try a test right now. Notice if you are not clenching your pelvic or glute muscles right as you listen to me. Many men spend the whole day locked up like that. It is like tying a knot in a hose and then trying to push water through it. Chronic stress keeps the pelvic area without circulation and in a constant state of alert. I have seen prostate crises triggered right after big family arguments or periods of grief. The body says what the mouth will not. Learning to take a deep breath and relaxing those muscles is a urological medicine as potent as any pill. Finally, let us face the ultimate taboo: fear. The fear of going to the doctor and finding out it is something worse, like cancer. Many men use the ostrich strategy. They bury their head in the sand and pretend the problem does not exist. But think of the analogy of a small kitchen fire. If you see a flame on your curtain and throw a glass of water on it, the house is saved. If you pretend you do not see it and go to sleep, by the time you wake up to the smell of smoke, it might be too late to save the roof. The vast majority of enlarged prostate cases are what we call benign hyperplasia. In other words, it is not cancer, it is just natural growth that can be controlled with the lifestyle changes we are talking about here. But you have to know what is happening. Skipping your blood work or a checkup because of an old-fashioned prejudice or irrational fear is the biggest mistake a 60-year-old man can make. Early diagnosis turns what could be a complicated surgery into a simple life adjustment. My goal here, my friend, is for you to feel like you have control again. Your age is not a sentence of suffering. I know 80-year-old men who have much better urinary health than 50-year-old men simply because they understood the rules of the game. Health is not something you buy at the pharmacy. It is something you build with small daily decisions. It is in the water you drink, the time you spend walking, and the stress you decide not to carry to bed. Do not feel alone. That feeling of fragility when the body starts to flicker is normal, but it does not have to be your destiny. Look at all these habits we discussed. Do not try to change them all tomorrow. Start with one. Maybe today you choose a glass of water instead of that third cup of coffee. Maybe tomorrow you decide to walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Your prostate is not your enemy. It is just a sensor, like that little light on a car dashboard that turns on to say the oil is low. It is asking for your attention. It is asking you to take a little more care of the man who spent his whole life taking care of everyone else. Now it is your turn. I want you to leave this conversation with a spark of hope. If you put half of what we talked about into practice, I guarantee your nights will be quieter, your sleep will be deeper, and that anxiety of constantly looking for a bathroom will begin to fade. You deserve to live your mature years with dignity and comfort. The knowledge you receive today is a powerful tool, but a tool only works if you use it. Do not let this be just more noise on your phone. Let these words stay with you during your next meal and your next moment of rest. Remember, your body is your only true home. Take good care of it, and it will take care of you. The path to a healthy prostate starts today, right now, with the next glass of clear, refreshing water you decide to drink. I believe in your ability to change these habits. You have overcome so much in life already. A tiny gland is not going to beat you now. Be the captain of your health. I will see you soon for another honest talk. Until then, take care of yourself.